Okay, I was just driving down the road in the Toyota Prius, and you know, this channel has a lot fewer subscribers than my other two channels, ROBMOTIVE and ROBMOTIVE RL, or JL, I should say. But anyway, a guy pulls up next to me near a gas station. We're on the road in the turn lane in an FJ Cruiser, and he's looking over and he's smiling, and I think he was waving, but I don't know if he recognized the channel, me, or if he was just giving me a thumbs up maybe on the Toyota Prius, because it's the new design and all of that. You know, a lot of people really like it. So anyway, if you're that guy and you're out there and you watch the channel, thanks for waving. I appreciate that. Anyway, as I'm out here cruising around, I'm thinking about, you know, what is the Toyota Prius really for? What did I buy it for? You know, and it's changed for me a little bit. It's not going to have the same purpose that it originally did. So, first and foremost, I bought it for the channel. I wanted to have a Prius on this channel. I love the new design, and I fell in love with it when I saw it. So I had to have it from that standpoint, you know, and to shoot videos with, and, you know, do some mods and things like that. And this is my first hybrid vehicle. I've never had, other than the battery that starts your vehicle, I've never had any battery car before or anything. So I wanted to kind of jump in. You know, we're heading that way, I think, more so with hybrids than electrics, but fully electrics, that is. But anyway, I wanted to experience it. Secondly, I was going to use it as like an errand car. I don't work in a brick and mortar, so it's not like I have to get up every day and drive to work or anything. I mean, as soon as I get up, I'm at work, which can have its downsides, right? I mean, I'm always on the clock then. But I do use it for errands and things, and I think it makes a really good vehicle for that because it gets such awesome fuel economy. I mean, who wants to jump in your Toyota Tundra, for example, that mine, you know, was getting like 18, 19, I think, and that's the new one. The older one, more like 14, 13, something like that. So who wants to jump in that other than the enjoyment of driving it, which, by the way, I do love the Tundra. But you're burning a lot of gas just to run to the local Piggly Wiggly to pick up some sweet tea or something, you know? So I think it's good for that. It's good just to kick around, run errands, things like that. And then to drive to work. I mean, if you have a, let's say, I don't know what the average is, I'll go with like a 30-minute commute, maybe 40 minutes. You know, you're going to work to make money, right? So you don't want to spend a lot of money going to work to make money. Otherwise, you're working to go to work. Make sense? So to use it for that and to get back and forth from work is a good use for the Prius, I think, because it's the most economical, or one of the most economical ways you can do it. So it's good for that. Now, I had mentioned it's kind of taken on another role for me. And I didn't see this when I first bought the car. Matter of fact, I would have thought it was the furthest thing that you could do with a Toyota Prius, and that is a long-distance trip. I've mentioned this many times on the channel, so I'm not going to go into great detail on it, but it's won me over for that. It's got plenty of room inside for it. It's comfortable. The seats are nice and plush and comfortable. I'm going to use it for that. I'm taking it on what's going to be, I think I've said 19 hours before, but it's more like a 24-hour, 26-hour trip once you throw in stops and gas and bathroom breaks and things like that. So it's going to be a pretty extensive trip, and then once I get where I'm going, I'm going to take another trip, if you will, about 10 hours. So by the time I'm all done, I'm going to have about, let's see, 10 and 10 is 20, and then another, what, 48 hours. So I'm going to have about 68 hours worth of seat time in this car. By far more than I probably have put on the car as far as seat time goes. So anyway, it's taken on another role for me. I can't wait to experience it. I think it's going to be just fine. The only real issue that I have with it, and by the way, my original plan was to drive a Toyota Tundra, but if you watch the channels, then you know that Tundra is gone. It's now fallen to the Prius. The Toyota Tacoma was a close, but not going to happen. So that's what I'm going to do with it. I'm going to use it as a cross-country traveler. Now, there is another kind of obscure thing that I love about the Prius, what it's useful for me. You know, I never buy any car that I don't like, that I haven't fallen in love with, car or truck. And as I mentioned, I have with the Toyota Prius. As soon as I saw it, when advertisements first started to come out, or even when Toyota started to tease it a little bit. And you know, Toyota loves to do that, right? They tease us with vehicles like they're doing with the Tacoma right now. And then eventually we get more pictures and finally some specs. And then they say they're sending them out with allocation and you can actually buy them. So I fell in love with the car. I love the looks of it and I like to look at it. You know, when I go out in the garage and I'm working on something else like the Tacoma or my Jeep, I can just see it sitting there. That gives me some satisfaction. You know, it's fun to look at. It's fun to experience. Driving it is another thing. You know, the drive in this car is awesome. Toyota, I think they hit a home run when they put this car out. Their engineering department deserves a raise because it's just that awesome. It's fun to drive. You know, maybe none of the other things matter at all. The errands and the appearance, the fuel economy. Maybe it's just for the pure sake of driving it around, enjoying it. Maybe that's what it's really for, to experience it. You know, I'm still getting used to the way that it starts up. When you push the button, it has a push start, of course. All it does is have a little icon come up on the screen or words that say ready. It doesn't do anything else, doesn't make any noise, unless you have the air, the heat on, then it will make some fan noise. But otherwise, if nothing is running, you don't even know it's on unless you look at the lights and stuff on the screen, which is usually how I tell it started. Then I wander over to where it says ready because I'm still not used to that. I'm used to the old combustion engines where you push the button or turn the key, maybe put two wires together, whatever you do to start yours. And you hear that exhaust, the little thunder, depending on what your setup is, and then you know that it's running. The other thing that's different about it is you don't feel anything because it doesn't fire up. There's no explosion going on under the hood, right? So you don't feel anything sitting there idling or running. Just something else that's kind of strange to get used to, but enjoyable nonetheless. I still look forward to it every time I go out. Quick little health report on it before I sign off here. It's got 828 miles on it now, so not a ton, but I split the time between my other vehicles, and I've had no issues with it. Nothing funky, nothing strange. You know, everybody always says don't buy the first year of a redesign or a refresh because you're going to have gremlins and issues and things. I worried about that a little bit because this is a complete redesign from what it was, although there are similar features and functions and systems and all that stuff. But nonetheless, no issues with it. It's awesome. I highly recommend it. Anyway, if you've got the Prius or maybe you're in the market and you're buying one, you're just waiting for it to show up, what are you going to do with it? What are you buying it for? I'd be curious to know. Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there. Bye.